on a screen, healthcare in between, physics, art, math, got us down this path. Historical tales come alive, where science and stories dive, blended facts with heart, knowledge from the start. MedBricks blues we sing, to the future memory, health and science in the mix. MedBricks got the fix. Complex subjects made
right
clear,
now
every episode
in ways that we actually acquire
Ramana
the
leads the way,
and ways that make me more efficient.
in the world of digital streams, turning knowledge into dreams. Through the tales of old, new stories unfold.
Thank you so much for joining with me. It is truly an honor and a privilege.
MedBricks Webcast is a new kind of healthcare media channel to break the silo mentality and foster interdisciplinary thinking. Our mission is to fill that gap and to create a curiosity through different lenses, tapping the passion that guided the historical figures in medicine and bringing present-day groundbreaking research to the front lines. We interview physicians and leaders in the industry about present-day healthcare challenges on our.
Hey, welcome to the MedBricks Webcast. Today is a special. We had a program in the 6 o'clock, 6 to 7 in the California time. But I'm doing now a special today is as part of the movement in the last minute. I'm doing this. The reason was I saw Google Doodle, they did the Quantum Day. They declared that today is a Quantum World Day, World Quantum Day. There is a story, actually, I want to tell you why I'm doing this. My son, he went to school in Atlanta, Georgia. He had a bunch of classmates. His name is Brandon Kriegel, and another one is Richard Ortez, I think. Last name. They used to hang around all the times, in my house, and they used to hang around in their house. Sometimes the kids. So, one day they were celebrating my son's birthday, 16th or 15th birthday. They were making a lot of noise in the basement. So I went, I could not able to sleep. And then in the middle of the night, I went downstairs. What's going on with these kids? I hope they're not doing anything bad things. So I went downstairs. So I saw these kids and all this talking about, I was just, happened to talk quantum physics on that day. I said that, the electron could be in multiple places at the same time. So I thought these kids don't care about all these things, they don't pay attention to it. In fact, they really paid attention. And then one of them is Brandon Kriegel, is a family friend. Let me bring him to the table. Now, Brandon is very close friend of our family friends. We are. And my son is also, I think that he said that he's coming. Let me bring him. Oh God, a lot of people are here now. So all of them, all the kids are in my house. They have been talking that, Dad, what are you talking about at 6 o'clock in the 12 o'clock in the night about the quantum physics? They got upset with me that day, my son. But after 20 years, Richard said that he bought a quantum book. Henry is another friend of his. He bought Brandon is always asking me quantum questions. All the times he is always integrated by them. Let me bring all of them to the table. I think let me do that. All of them. I'm so excited to see them, all of them. After maybe 20 years. After 20 years, we are all getting together. And this is a phenomenal to me. So I'm trying to bring all of them together. Okay, let me bring all of them. I hope all of the 4 people come down there. Yeah, 3. Brandon. Welcome, Brandon.
Hello.
Brandon, I tell you something, Brandon. I met you in Silicon Valley. You on that day when I said that electron could be in multiple places at the same time, there's a secret life it does. My son asked me, Ramesh asked me, Dad, is the electron knows about the future? Does it know something about it? He asked me. That is a very intriguing question. Both of you asked me. That's always stayed with me. Such a interesting. Tell me a little bit about it, Brandon, on that day, and let me bring you to the that yeah. Why am I getting let me all the poor people I'm gonna bring. Yeah, now I can do that. Okay, tell me, Brandon. Tell me that day. Ramesh is here. Ramesh, I don't know why he's not coming on the show on the camera. Jennifer, my friend, is from Dallas joining. Brandon is from Dallas. Tell me, Brandon, that how did you inspire that? Why you have so much interest in quantum physics, quantum things?
Yeah, thanks for having me on, and hi, nice to see everybody. Good that Ramesh is on too. What's up, bro?
Hey, how's
They
it
grew
going?
up together since fourth grade onwards. They are together
My
all the way to the college. Yeah, go ahead.
oldest friend. Yes, sir. And yeah, I remember that day like it was yesterday, and it's a classic story. We tell it all the time. I remember Ramesh and I always, we talk about it, we catch up and remember that, reminisce. And yeah, basically it was Ramesh's birthday, just like Ramana said, and we're just chilling, and Ramana just comes down and like wants to like talk about like these quantum physics, like all these crazy topics. And I think we were like all in like, must have been like early, like sixth grade or something. And Ramana he like showed, like crazy video about like it was like Dr. Quantum or something like that. And he
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I'm going to show that video actually in a
oh,
minute.
yeah, the difference in the
I'm
flat.
going
Like,
to show that video.
I
So,
remember like yesterday it was really awesome.
yeah. Rameshlo, what are you doing? Tell me something about it on that day.
Yeah. So first and foremost, sorry I can't jump on the screen. I'm actually in the car right now. But I remember that day like it was yesterday. It was extremely vivid. It was one of those things that, when you're a kid and like your dad is trying to teach your friends quantum physics. At first, you're just kind of like, oh, come on, dad. But when I kind of noticed, I mean, because this is stuff that I've been hearing my whole life. My dad has been teaching me this stuff. It's his passion. But when I saw how interested my friends were in it, it really made me understand that, quantum physics is it's something that's it's complex enough for people to want to be interested, but it's not too far out for to be beyond, people's interests. Like when I realized like this is just an objectively interesting subject, and maybe it actually piqued my curiosity a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have your Mandelbrot shirt that you sent me on fractals, and it goes deep. It literally.
Let me talk about the fractal shut. That is Jennifer. She's joining from a good friend of mine, Jennifer Niemeyer. She helped me to. Oh my God, she was during the pandemic. I'm the isolated. She was coming every day on the podcast, not on the podcast. She was coming every day on the make sure that I write the book. That became the basis for my podcast, actually, entire podcast. So she was present every day. I mean, inspiring me, correcting me. And if I'm a little bit lost in some place, that she corrected me. So, Jennifer, tell me, you learned quantum physics here from Midwest, all the way from cornfield from Omaha, Nebraska. But you learned quantum physics from me. So, tell me a little bit about a quantum physics experience for you.
Well, Ramana, thanks for having me. Yeah, same thing. The experience for a whole year writing a book about quantum physics with you was really fun. A lot of stuff I had no idea of and learned a ton of things. So it is interesting. I loved every minute of it, and the end product was a good book. So it worked out well.
There's a T-shirt. Actually, I sent it to the Mandelbrot T-shirt for to Brandon. He wore it and sent me a nice video on that one. That is Jennifer helped me all those designs and everything. Brandon, I'm going to talk about a little bit about the video that I showed them on that day. Is a very interesting video. I'm going to play that video a little bit So let me bring that video to guys for you. Yeah, the scene. Yeah, I'm going to play that video that I showed all of you guys on that day. That is the video I'm going to show.
And here we are, the granddaddy of all quantum weirdness, the infamous double slit experiment. To understand this experiment, we first need to see how particles, or little balls of matter, act.
Wow, memories
If we
unlocked.
randomly shoot a small object, say a marble,
You remember,
at the
guys?
screen, we see a pattern on the back wall where they went through the slit and hit.
Flatlanders
Now,
coming up.
if we add a second slit, we would expect to see a second band duplicated to the right. Now, let's look at waves.
Yeah, the wave particle.
The waves hit the
geology.
slit and radiate out, striking the back wall with the most intensity directly in line with the slit. The line of brightness on the back screen shows that intensity. This is similar to the line the marbles make. But when we add the second slit, something different happens. If the top of one wave meets the bottom of another wave, they cancel each other out. So now there is an interference pattern on the back wall. Places where the two tops meet are the highest intensity, the bright lines, and where they cancel, there is nothing. So, when we throw things, that is, matter, through two slits, we get this, two bands of hits. And with waves, we get an interference pattern of many bands. Good so far. Now, let's go quantum. An electron is a tiny, tiny bit of matter, like a tiny marble. Let's fire a stream through one slit. It behaves just like the marble, a single band. So, if we shoot these tiny bits through two slits, we should get, like the marbles, two bands. What? An interference pattern. We fired
maybe talk
electrons,
through, like, what
tiny
it
bits
is
of matter through.
showing.
We get a pattern like waves,
The
not like little marbles.
audio.
How? How could pieces of matter create an interference pattern like a
I don't know,
wave?
Ramana, there's no audio to it.
There is no audio.
No. I mean, we know the concepts.
Oh, that's a very strange. Even nobody told me that audio. I can hear the audio, but that's a strange.
Well, hopefully, recording in the video.
What is that? Let me start all over. Let me bring that, remove it and bring it again. Yeah, maybe one more time. Let me try that. Why it is not audio there? Video.
And here we are, the
Can
granddaddy
you hear?
of all quantum weirdness, the infamous double slit
No,
experiment.
it's not playing, Ramana.
To understand this experiment,
Still not
we
working?
first need to see
No.
how particles,
But it
is.
or little balls of matter,
Okay, and
if we
I don't know what
randomly
is
shoot
again,
a small
technical problem.
object, say a
Let
marble,
me-
at the screen, we see a pattern on the back wall
I don't know
where they
what
went
that
through the
problem is,
slit
but,
and hit.
Okay,
Now, if we add a second slit, we would expect to see a second band duplicated to the right.
oh, that's something is there.
Now, let's look at waves. The waves hit the slit,
Well, that's all
and
right. Why don't you tell
radiate
us a little
out,
bit about what
Okay.
striking the back.
I'm going to move that. Let me explain to you a little bit. When the electron goes through the two slits, it is supposed to be two slits because it's just a particle. They're like a matter. Instead of producing two slits, it produces interference pattern. So electron, a matter acting like a wave. All matter acting like a wave means, what do you mean by matter acting like a wave? You're a matter. You're also wave. Everybody has a wave function. So not only electron, You, me, everybody, including the entire universe, have the wave function. That's a wave. We exist like a particle and wave. Same time, we appear to each other is a more of a like a actual matter, but actually we are waves in the sense that when we don't look at, when we don't see, nobody observes it, we are a wave. That is the secret life of the particle. So I'm going to explain that a little bit more. Maybe this is I'm going to bring a Ramesh Low. Yeah. So I don't know why it is he didn't do the video, but I'm going to do that presentation. Let me bring the presentation there. That is the life of a particle. I'm going to talk about it. Most of the space and time, viruses, molecules, atoms, all of them are beyond our time scales. The time is so short, so nanoseconds. Space is so tiny, we don't have access to it. So we do not have a direct access to it. So we have indirect access. We have to find out what they do, how did they do it. We photograph the atoms actually, but still we don't know what they do exactly all the times. That is a secret life. I'm going to tell you that I don't know why video didn't come, but I'm going to talk with them. So this is Richard Feynman. Okay, Richard Feynman, oh guys and guys, is a party guy. He's a quantum physicist. He used to go to a strip club called Gianni in Los Angeles, Pasadena, near the Caltech. He's a Caltech professor. So he used to go there and he used to write all his equations of the quantum physics on the drink mats. They sold it for $5 million on the auction. You know that? That went for $5 million bucks. For this whole thing went for $5 million. That auction, all his scribblings. That became a standard for quantum. Big Bang Theory is based on all his lectures actually. So Big Bang Theory, the series that they came out is based on his lectures. They talk about all the times about his lectures in the Big Bang. What is a quantum physics? A lot of people ask me. There are two things you must remember about quantum physics. Whenever anybody says quantum, there's two things. One is entanglement, another is superposition. What is entanglement is? Let us talk about entanglement is like two sisters. They're like a very close sisters, twins, for example. They can feel each other even they're not in the same place. So entanglement has that kind of two particles. They have the same different spins. They can impact each other even if they're a billion miles away from each other. Quantum entangled photons, entangled particles can influence each other. That's Einstein called as a spooky action at distance, because that he didn't like it. He didn't like that's a strange phenomenon. It is not of non-locality. It's not influencing each other from a distance. It's not possible. So he wrote the EPR paradox, and he produced a lot of things that he came up with to object that quantum entanglement. Let me explain to you a little bit of superposition and quantum entanglement in this computer. How the classical computer works or the quantum computer works. Classical computer, there's a cheese up there there's a maze. There's a cheese in the end. So you take a mouse and put it there. It eventually keep on trying one step by step, and eventually reaches the cheese. That is the a series of steps it does. That is what the quantum classical computer does. If you go quantum, that's a very strange thing happens. The mouse becomes a ghost and splits thousands of mouses same time. I'm just giving a little bit of an artistic way. It takes all possible paths to the cheese and picks up the shortest distance and come back, and it knows the fastest way, that it knows the distance, which way to go next. That is a quantum computer based on. So quantum computers are, it does not a parallel processing. It is a much more different than parallel processing. It does all of them. It does same time. And then fix it, come back in time and fix that shortest path. So computation in the regular computer, it takes 10,000 years. It takes 30 seconds in the quantum computers. So it's going to revolutionize quantum computers. Quantum computers are going to revolutionize the entire protein folding, all of them. So what is the secret life? What we don't know anything about are particles, but you are particles, right? We are all particles. We don't. So we are made up of particles. That is the key. Now I'm going to show you where there is a. So quantum sight nowadays, their quantum biology is coming in the picture. Quantum sight means if you are what they're saying, that's photosynthesis happens in the brain. So when you see something, when I see now, my son or Jennifer or Brandon, so I see the light from them reflecting on them and coming back to my things, and it becomes a photon hits my retina and then become electrical current and neurons, and it goes back to the visual cortex and then interprets what I'm seeing. But that is the principle of solar battery. The brain, the light you see becomes electrical signal and go there. That's basically is a solar battery. The solar battery, our brain works with a 99% efficiency, where solar battery is only 50-60% efficiency. That is a puzzling to a lot of people. Why it is what is doing in the brain, what is happening in the why eyesight, when I see something, the photons going back to the visual cortex so fast, much efficient than solar battery. That's a puzzle to scientists. What they found is surprising. What they found is one photon hits the retina and splits into all the ghost photons and all possible paths it takes and go to the shortest distance and goes back in time and then picks that distance. So you go quantum, you see a quantum right in the brain. So a light hits your retina, it becomes a quantum in nature and goes all possible paths at the same time and hits that visual cortex. So that's why 98% efficiency it arrives. That is a very strange, is a photosynthesis effect. It is that's what the Albert Einstein discovered in the quantum breathing. Now they're all finding quantum biology is in the quantum systems are coming into our body. Our body, you see, quantum systems are any kind of atmosphere, it doesn't work, because if it interacts with the air, temperature, anything that interacts, it has to be perfect vacuum. But nature found a way to trick that system and do the quantum. Here is a quantum breathing is, for example, how does it do? If it is a regular breathing, we have to split carbon dioxide outside. We breathe oxygen and push out the carbon dioxide. We do maybe 10,000 carbon dioxide atoms outside with the enzymes and all those things. There is no way possible 100,000 per second we cannot send them out. It's not chemistry-wise not possible. Only way possible, it becomes the enzymes. The enzyme reaction it does a quantum nature. It spits out through quantum all possible paths and spits out all the carbon dioxide outside. 100,000 per second it spits out carbon dioxide molecules. So we are thinking that enzyme reaction, that enzyme actually goes to the lower potential, like water going from a bottom to the top, not to the top to the bottom to the top. That's what it does. It's a very strange thing happens in the enzyme reaction. It goes from the lower energy to the higher energy. It's not possible. Otherwise, we could have been dead, because we could not push it out all the carbon dioxide. So with the quantum nature that they're finding out, quantum that the enzyme reaction could be quantum breathing can happen because of enzyme reaction, which is a quantum in nature. Then quantum smell, for example, they know that quantum smell is that when you see, some people can distinguish between I'm not expert in wines, but people who are experts in wines, they can distinguish between the northern Italian wines to southern Italian wines. Very subtle differences. But only we have 300 receptors in our nose and all those things. Only we have 300 receptors. There is no way possible. You cannot detect 10,000 smells separate. So what is quantum is doing is it is a vibration, quantum tunneling it is called. Is the vibrations are creating a quantum tunneling. It creates a quantum quantum smell, you can detect 10,000 smells from the quantum nature. Quantum smell. Actually, the birds use this same quantum tunneling to navigate to the migrations. So quantum tunneling, we are actually going a quantum in our. We don't recognize ourselves, but we do quantum in our bodies. Quantum biology is a sub-base system. Actually quantum biology is a sub-base system. Quantum biology, quantum mind. That is recently proven now. So where does the consciousness come? Where is I see a red? I see a love. I find a love for my son and all of these kids up here and Jennifer. But why? What does a love means? What is a red? What is a color? All these things. What they found out is consciousness happens in the neurons, in the microtubules. Dr. Stow Dameroff is a anesthesiologist in Phoenix, Arizona, and Roger Penrose, a physicist from Oxford. They decided that's quantum. Our neurons go through a quantum state. Basically it exhibits a quantum nature in the brain. Quantum mind comes out of that. So our mind is not a computable. It's a quantum nature. It's not a computation doesn't work. A quantum mind is our feeling of red, feeling of love, feeling of pain. All of them are quantum in nature, because that is what Stow Dameroff and then Roger Penrose, that recently actually got an experimental verification on this process. So quantum mind. Quantum is not that far, is not some abstract thing. It is around us, inside of us. So the secrets of the particle is not somewhere outside. That's within you. The secret is within you. That is where you explore. That is the secret of the particle. Quantum nature is within you. You need to look at you and look at our only way to reach that secret is through meditation, self-realization, and understanding the nature itself. All of them help you. So quantum has a very, very powerful things that it does. And it is a very, one of the things I am doing is that, I'm explaining the quantum physics into the doctors. One of the things is now, if you use a X-ray, a lot of X-ray has a lot of, the radiation. So what they're doing, they use a quantum physics. They send a low-level X-ray on one side, low-level photons. And then other side, these are the entangled photons. They are entangled. So low level has no effect on your body, but you cannot recognize because low level intensity, you cannot see the body inside. But other side, they're entangled. They're not even touching the body. So I can amplify these photons, which are not connected which are not in the body, because they're entangled with the photons in the body. I can amplify this one. I see what is happening in the body. Magical, right? So you're not even picturing the body. You're looking at somewhere else outside of the body, and you're looking at the image of the body inside because of the entanglement. It's called a quantum ghost imaging, is actual word. Quantum ghost imaging is you send a ghost photons in one side, and the other one is you see the actual images on the other side. You can amplify and see the complete image X-ray. So a lot of times, if you have 100 X-rays a year, is dangerous. A lot of cancer patients, they go through a lot of radiation. So we can avoid that in the future. You can send a quantum entangled photons one side, and then there's a low-level radiation, but they work entangled. Everything happens here, it happens here. So you can amplify this side of it. You can amplify and see everything here, because that radiation doesn't affect is all on the machine. So you can see that's the magic of the quantum is coming to you. It is within us. So we have to be really. So that is what I want to do. That is. What do you think, guys? I want to bring all of you. What do you think, Brandon?
Wow. I'm just gonna wrap my head around all that. But I'll give Ramesh a shot at it. Like, what do you think, bro?
Ramesh, tell me.
Um, so when I was an undergrad, I remember one of my professors told the class that if we could come up with a model on how ideation, how creating ideas works, he would give you an A. You wouldn't have to take any tests, anything like that. And the catch was no one has figured that out. I don't think even to this day we have a model on how ideas can generate.
Yeah.
And so with that, I feel like that kind of is a quantum mind concept where, um, because ideas, there's no, we don't know what the predecessor to an idea is. It just happens.
Yeah.
I mean, I
There is no explanation. There's no logical explanation to it. It just ideas come out. That the moment, my ideas come sometimes. I was taking a shower or taking listening something else, stupid things I'm doing or eating something. That idea comes to me. Oh, I can present this way. The best way to do it. These are things happen all the times. That is a still mystery. That's a quantum jump. That's why quantums don't travel. Photons don't travel from A to B. It appears and disappears. And from one place, it disappears and appears in another place. It doesn't travel as people think. That's why they call it quantum jump. So it's not photons are traveling. We think in a classical sense, they're not traveling. They're just magically appearing, disappearing. That's what he's doing. So, what do you think, Jennifer? You can comment on it a little bit.
No, I was always interested in the ghost imaging stuff, like how does that work?
Yeah, it is a mystery, but it is a very understood mystery. I don't understand why it works, but quantum entanglement, we know they call it God's effect. These two things are connected. These two entangled photons. So one photon, that's for fact. We know that. So whatever you do on this one, we know we can see it in this one. Without they have no connection. They can be billion miles away from each other. Still, you see the effect. That is the strangest effect. So that's why some people call God's effect. That is so I can quantum ghost imaging is that you send these low level radiation and see the entangled photons on the other side. You can see the entire image, the CT scan. You can see the entire CT scan much more clear. So you don't have to subject the people with a lot of radiations, because the radiation itself can cause a cancer. You're trying to treat cancer and find a cancer. It can cause cancer because of that much radiation. So what are you thinking, Brandon? You're thinking Brandon used to come to, when he was in Silicon Valley, he used to come to me and ask me questions that always ask me quantum questions. You have any questions?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So like, I was just thinking about the ideation. So just bridging that a little bit, there's something to say about like synthesis of observations to create novel ideas, like where novel ideas don't necessarily exist other than like as like a combination of pre-existing ideas somehow synthesized together creatively. And like but like like for instance, like if you have like a nightmare, and like people talk about dreams and stuff, but like really I think it's just like information processing in like the sleep, where you're like storing information that you've observed and like synthesizing it a certain way, and then maybe it appears. An example of this is like you watch a scary movie and like then you get a nightmare about it. Well, like why is it that your nightmare is like about like it's like it's correlated to like the scary movie, like the timing, and so well it's because you observed it, you're synthesizing it. And so like there's like something to say about like the ideation of synthesis of pre-existing observations. But all right, what like interests me is the timing of it. Like when you like when you like just like thinking in the shower or something just pops into your head. Like that's also something that is like highly unusual. Like if you really think about it, it's like why like the synthesis is one thing. Like it's like that's like kind of logical, but like the timing of it, of like when you get the idea. I mean, at the night, like after you watch a scary movie, makes sense. But like just in like regular, like daily, like creative kind of like ideation or like brainstorming sessions,
Yeah.
and Yeah.
Ideation is a mystery, Brandon, because that is something that gamma waves in the brain blast off in 1 second is like a big blast. Okay, so the blast comes up that they watched it how the ideation comes. They saw the brain in the MRI, functional MRI. They saw the gamma waves going in a much more intense. All of a sudden, we don't know what triggers what it does. So it's called a default network, right? The brain doesn't. Some of the things, brain, you don't have any input. It does its own job. We don't know what that is. So it is the default network does its job. It's called a default network, right, Rameshlu? That your brain has that. You're a neuroscientist. Tell me a little bit about that.
So I do think that there is a point to what Brendan was saying, that sometimes ideation can come from like if we're looking at how a fork came about, right? A pronged instrument. It could be through observation of how chopsticks works, and kind of putting that idea, putting a concept together with the synthesis, or it could come from the fact that if there was only spoons available, there was a lack of this solution. So it could almost be like a solution to, instead of putting
Yeah.
ideas together, just filling in a gap where something didn't exist. So there is there's a gap between the information itself and how that information converts to a new concept.
That is always a mystery in my view, because that is always struggle. Why some people are that they can see out of the box thinking. All of you guys think out of the box thinking, because that's why you're attached to the quantum physics. You never, when you think about out of the box thinking, solutions pop out big time. All because uh, some of the solutions looks funny, but it just pop out right way, and then solutions come automatic for you. That you train you're, in my view, why you get those ideas. You're open to that. If you are logical, strict logical, I am not going to A to B, B to C, C to D, you never get that kind of ideas, because you're very regimented process. But you're open to the magic, open to that quantum world, open that can happen. Then all the ideas come to you. There is no restriction there. That is a fundamental process. I feel that we need to train the brain for that. And I am open to these kind of ideas. It doesn't need to be logical. One of the thinking is Indians in Chinese thinking is a two Confucius. Chinese people think Confucius thinking. A to B, B to C, C to D. That's a very practical thinking. It's good in certain ways. You can do manufacturing, but some of the Indian quantum, the saints and Indian saints thinking, I think about D and go back. How do you go back to BCA? Rather, all of a sudden jump to the D and then go back to the A. So this is kind of a novel thinking. It works in certain times. That's why you need a both. You need a logical steps to achieve the goal, but you need to have a thinking of the way further down. You know, I tell you, deep seek, for example, I'm going to present a topic on the Thursday. You should watch. Why deep seek? It's a $5 million, and then ChatGPT they want a $500 billion. They were saying, right? Investment requirement for the ChatGPT $500 billion, and then something is missing. But what is missing? What is connection between these two? You know that it is the science is the one missing. They could not. These technology people did not understand science. What they did, DeepSeek really, in the first time Chinese did, is understood the nature. They went back to the nature and say, how can we optimize principle? I'm going to explain to you. Principle of least action is called in physics. That is a very amazing concept. They used it, and then a abstract concept is basically when suppose you're a lifeguard. I'll just give you an example, quick example. If somebody is drowning in the sea, or your friend, what do? You go there and try to rescue him. You run towards him and rescue, right? You go straight. But if you go straight, that's not a good idea, because if you go straight, you're swimming a lot more. In the swimming area is a lot more, and you're going to slow down. So you go parallel, run a little bit more, and then go shortcut to the swimming, reduce the swim time. Then you reduce the swim time and run on the fast, you can rescue much faster. So is the least, so is necessarily to the distance between the two things, necessarily the straight line, it could be very thin. That's what they thought. So the deep seek in so they bypassed that aspect of it and then say, how can you do that? They optimized the whole process, and then $5 million they won. They stunned the world, because science can win. Out of the box thinking is always the winner. So that is out of box thinking really came out and then won the critics and everybody. DeepSeek was Chinese, LLM. One that reason is that powerful idea of science, not technology. The technology guys are thinking, give me more money, $500 billion, $5 million. They got it, 500 billion, 5 million. I don't know where is the money going. Money, Brandon, you need to explain to us from Texas. So yeah, that is out of box thinking. If you're open to it, if you're open to the world, there is a lot of things coming. That is the resistance. Out of box thinking is open to the concepts. Yeah.
What about the cat that's alive and dead at the same time?
Which one?
Schrodinger's cat.
Schrodinger's cat. Schrodinger's cat is, the cat is so dead or alive same time, right? So that opens up because of quantum chips right now. The IBM, Google came with the quantum chips, right? What these chips are based on? These quantum qubits based on the parallel world, parallel universe, right? Is basically you're opening a parallel universe.
How?
That's a practical version of the parallel universe. So the cat is, when you open the box, cat is either dead or alive, but the other universe is so quantum immortality. You never die. Immortality, right? You always live. You're living in some quantum on the parallel universe somewhere. Is a quantum immortality. It's a concept actually. It's not I'm not making up. It's a Wikipedia concept. Quantum immortality. So you live forever. There's no death, in that sense. So that quantum, you die in that. When you open that cat dies, but she lives in other universe, right? She's always living in other universe. So never dies. So it's kind of a soul study. So a lot of people don't understand that part, but actually that is what it is. What the quantum physics saying, that you never die. Quantum immortality. So these are not some abstract concepts. They're putting on the quantum chip. That chip is doing the same thing. It's going to the parallel universe and then doing the same thing, right? The quantum qubits are doing exactly the same.
So the quantum chip opens a parallel universe?
Parallel universe, yes.
What is that? That's a wild. That's amazing. Like, what does that even mean?
Well, that is still under the question because we don't know it. We don't know what it means, but it works. That's all they care about right now. Right? They want to make money out of it. That's it. It solves one of the areas they can solve the problem is protein folding and discovery of all the drugs. Protein folding is one of the complex thing, and they need the protein folding to solve the problem of the drug. So you need all parallel universes to open up and compute, and then give me the answer. That's what we're not there yet. We're a long way to go. But quantum chip is basically you're opening the parallel universe. The qubits are parallel universe. Because they operate at 1 and 0, that's at the same time. When you observe it, the other one is other side. So your quantum, the quantum universe is open the other side, the parallel universe there. So it's opening multiple universes there. Quantum universe is coming up. So it's a quantum immortality. Basically, quantum chip is quantum immortal. Yeah, that is. So we had a good lesson for the computers and quantum physics. So quantum physics, I want to tell you that quantum physics is such a mysterious, and if you accept it, you open a lot of ideas. bodies are complex, and human bodies are complex. A lot of quantum things are there. Okay, Ramesh, what do you want to say something?
Oh no, I actually have
You're
a.
saying something, Ramesh?
I was
What
saying
is that?
I have
Yeah,
to
well,
jump off the
but
stream.
anyway,
I have
thank
a.
you for coming, all of you guys. Any questions, pose me, send me an email. But it's a fun to join with you guys. This is the day I remember. 16-year-old guys, you're all going in the basement, and I thought you're doing in talking about quantum physics. I never thought that would inspire you guys. Even all your friends now, Henry and you and everybody and Ramesh, all into the quantum. They opened to the quantum walls and studied quantum physics and learned more about quantum. That really, that curiosity is a very powerful. Thank you, guys. Good night, all of you guys. Thank you, Jennifer, joining from Dallas, and all of you.
Thank
Bye,
you.
bye, guys.
Bye bye.
We are retelling their stories through our patented designs that can be worn on scrubs, t-shirts, printed on conference bags, and endless other promotional materials. Daily Wear for Medicine is the first ever of its kind to create curiosity in medicine through visual art. We at MedBricks are celebrating unsung heroes of the past who made enormous contributions to the field of medicine through our unique campaign called Daily Wear for Medicine. You can wear it, carry it, and give it.